It's hit or miss, but like I've noticed if you get down.
Oh, dude.
25% off your Just Energy order with code WORDSHUNDA, by the way. Get it while supplies last. I'm trying to get more supplies.
Yeah, I'm cheating. Wait. I got banned for cheating? Just kidding. But let me explain. Beacon is terrible, honestly. So, with all the report spams going on and other legitimate players getting banned, I was too caught in the crossfire and received a permanent ban for quote-unquote cheating in 2042. Once we get into the discussion here, I'll get into further detail on what exactly happened and what the case was and how quickly it became overturned. Moving into our main discussion here of the ban itself. Right? I got this email notification when I was at work. I was a bit surprised, but I wasn't mad. I'm more just annoyed at the fact that, you know, I put in all this time in a very bad game to be one of the best players out there, and I, you know, get schwacked for it because people just don't think I'm legitimate at all, which is fine. You're entitled to your opinion. However, with all that being said, before I even got home, you know, I made the case, I posted it on social media. Almost immediately it got thrown onto Reddit, which you can see here, and it kind of blew up in the Battlefield community, you know, so it caught traction very quickly up into the point where the moderators had to lock the post after 12 hours of it being up because people were just going back and forth harassing each other or just calling me out, this and that, you know, which is fine. It's the internet. That's what I expect. And to be honest, I got a lot of comedy out of it. I got a bunch of good laughs out of that. So I appreciate everyone looking at this post and upvoting it and commenting on it. All it did was throw my name out there even further, and, you know, I appreciate y'all for that. Now, before I even got to go home from work that day and make my case, you know, I talked to Enders, I talked to Baranox, because they've had the same issue before. I know Baranox has been banned before. I have a couple of friends who have been banned before they got it overturned. Some who weren't as fortunate, you know, were like Meat Show and Hobbs and Kinetic currently, who I'm still trying to help on getting his issue resolved. If, you know, I don't think any of those players are illegitimate, and I have no reason to believe that. I know them all fairly well and almost on a personal level. I talk to them fairly frequently, so I don't believe that my co-leader for the organization that I'm running for our roster is closet cheating. I don't believe anybody that got banned that I know of has been closet cheating. So when we take a look here, as I log into my EA account and I start to get ready and compile all of my information and send the dispute up to them, I log on and see that my account has been overturned before I even had to say anything to anybody, which I found comical. I actually laughed out loud at my computer because I thought to myself, there's no way that I am such a high priority player that they address this issue almost immediately, because at the end of the day, DICE and EA are a massive company, regardless of the product they put out, which, is we all know, has been terrible. So I did not think for a second that I would get this overturned as quickly as it did. Like I said, at the end of the day, we are one player out of the entire base of users that log on and get on there, drive and play the game and follow the rules, you know, the EA play, whatever. So we're all just one little piece of sand of grain in the massive beach that is out there for players. So one person, they, you know, realistically, they're not going to care, right? Unless you're somebody or you have connections or this and that, what have you. Now, I personally don't have any connections. You know, I reached out to people who respect my talents per se, and people that I respect for their content and their gameplay and their ultimately like what they're making and things like that. And but you know, seasoned Battlefield veterans, and I reached out and I got told this is what I should do, and I moved forward and didn't have to do any of that. And then a couple of days later, I get this email from one of the EA support members. Basically tells me that, hey, you know, hope you had a good day. We're sorry for what happened to you. We looked into it and found that it was a false ban and removed it immediately, and hope you know, it didn't cause frustration, this and that, and hope you have a great weekend is pretty much what he said. So I thought that was pretty cool. There is some other information that I was emailed from somebody else on the dev side, but bottom line is essentially what it seems like is people are being spam reported, and that is triggering the easy NA cheat. Other rumors or conspiracies of the NA cheat picking up your RGB systems, MSI Afterburner, or the popular Logitech mouse application. The people are speculating that that has triggered it as well. I know that Amy said specifically that she was using a Logitech mouse and running the program for the mouse itself when she got banned, and even that took her 2 weeks to get it overturned, and she knows people, so you know, it took some time. It's very hard to turn over a false positive when it actually picks up some sort of quote-unquote corrupt file that is hindering the integrity of the gameplay, right? So, and then kind of just wanted to close this stuff out here for you guys. You know, I post on Reddit fairly regularly, just throwing out some clips out there, you know, see what people say. You know, and if anybody wants any questions about my setup or, you know, how to practice aim, things like that, I get those questions all the time. And then, you know, I'll answer those questions when I get message. You know, other questions that I get as well is, you know, when are you going to make tutorial videos, map rotations, things like that. I'm working on that in the future. This will be in the upcoming videos. I've already made a 4.1 patch for the weapon attachments and the meta builds, and what weapons are quote-unquote the new meta, what's really strong, what got incredibly buffed, things like that. So those are all on the channel as well. Kind of coming through these Reddit comments that I get, they're just, this is just free exposure for me, honestly, and I laugh. It's funny to me. So you guys keep them coming. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their opinion, as I've said before. I am here to tell you that regardless if you think I cheat or not, I'm telling you that I'm a legitimate player. I can thank my father for that. I was instilled with a very competitive nature, which drives me to be, you know, the best at what I do, whether it's playing the games, at work, being a friend, you know, whatever you may have here. I don't want to just be mediocre or kind of skate along and be somewhere in the middle. I've always strived to be one of the best, and my integrity and the way I was raised, along with my military upbringing, does not allow my character to even stoop to this level. You know, why would somebody spend all this time to brag that you're number one at something, and then, you know, you're either making shortcuts, or you're cheating, you're not being legitimate, you're closet cheating, whatever the term you want to use. There's no justification for that, and there's no satisfaction from that. So why would you do it? That's what doesn't make sense to me. So, you know, and then all these comments that I get are people like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're posting your videos and you're clearly cheating. Like, how can you be proud of this and that? Which is, again, funny to me. And, you know, at the end of the day, I know what's true. You can believe it or not. It's up to you. If you stuck around for the entire video, I appreciate y'all, and I thank you again for your time. I will be trying to get those tutorial videos up for y'all as soon as I can. The goal is to do a few before I go on leave. As some of you guys know from the stream, I will be leaving next Thursday to get my kids for the summer, so I will be taking a very much needed break from Battlefield for about a week and a half. Whereas, you know, this game has been making me want to bash my head into my keyboard on numerous occasions. So I know we've all been there. But I'm going to take this break, and I'm going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to kids for the summer. And it'll be great. I'll still be playing, just not nearly as much. Again, try to strive to be the best of what I am. So when I have my kids, I try to be the best father I can be. So expect the streams to be a little shorter later in the day when they're asleep. Appreciate everybody, as I've said before. Thank you, and have a good night.